Hello, guys. Happy Wednesday, and welcome back to another episode of No More Kids in Scientology, you guys. What's up, no one? City of Angel. What's up, Carlos? So today, you guys, we want to actually do another audit of the media. This time is the Tampa Bay Times. The Tampa Bay Times, who did break an article to discuss how Clearwater's new Scientology strategy is no more cloak and dagger dealings. So we really wanted to sink our daggers into this literal breaking news from the Tampa Bay Times, May 11th. Talking about, all about how the city council of Tampa Bay of Clearwater is utterly paralyzed, and it's been really, really paralyzed for a lot of decades, you guys. And we really need to get into the meat of this article to really discuss what in the literal hell is actually going on. So the article starts, Clearwater's new Scientology strategy, no more cloak and dagger dealings. Top officials say they've had enough with the lack of progress downtown. And here you go, guys. Visual of that creepy, horrific town, Clearwater, that is totally desolate, filled with empty buildings and filled with minors inside of their Fort Harrison hotel, inside of their Coachman building, inside of their Superpower building, inside of their Sandcastle building. All manner of places are filled to the nth with underage kids. But yeah, this former site of trickles, jewelers, and gifts has been vacant since the company tied to Scientology bought it in 2017. So imagine, you guys, it's literally been 7 years, and this creepy building is just there rotting in the humidity of Florida, rotting next to the hotel that allows underage kids to come in to really get audited, right, you guys? Because that is really what is being sounded the alarm on. People come into this disgusting, desolate downtown place filled with empty buildings that don't make any sense. It's supposed to be a thriving, wonderful city, really amazing with all these people, and they cannot get the city to come alive. So let's really understand what in the hell. So Clearwater leaders are no longer hiding their impatience as blocks of downtown properties. That's actually pretty much more fitting. Some downtown properties tied to Scientology remain empty despite years of closed door talks. So that's what's going on here, you guys. All these years of so-called closed door talks that are really being had. I mean, we're talking a decade plus where everything in Clearwater has been slowly sinking into utter oblivion. With majority of new members, the city council began discussing government priorities with city administrators at a retreat Tuesday and aired plans for awakening downtown with or without Scientology's help. Oh, so now the Clearwater leaders really want to do it with or without Scientology's help. I feel like we're begging for collaboration, for cooperation, for open dialogue with our downtown partners. And I feel like we don't necessarily get the result that we're hoping for, said Mike Manino, one of the 3 council members elected in March. Well, isn't that great, Mr. Manino? that did run for city council. And apparently, Mr. Manino, you guys didn't do due diligence to be putting out that statement with a straight face. So what? Is this just a shock to him? Now he feels like he's begging for collaboration and cooperation. I mean, did you not Google anything going around your city? I mean, I think we really are having an extreme shortage of bandwidth of Wi-Fi of people, you guys. And it's really getting very concerning because people cannot seem to be able to have access to simple search engines like Google to, check out prior Tampa Bay Times breaking news about what goes on in the hotels. So imagine that he's acting very shocked here after he did get elected. Imagine Clearwater electing someone that is finding it very shocking that that these people are not cooperating. I mean, shocker. The city's already in talks with Pinellas County government to redevelop up to 14 county buildings into uses like retail and housing, prospect they said could help counter Scientology's dominance in Clearwater. But for the first time publicly, city officials talk about their desire to see Scientology convert some of its street-level religious offices into spaces the public can use too. Well, isn't that great, you guys? Street-level religious offices. Give it up to the Tampa Bay Literal Times that is really wanting us to really believe that there's street-level religious offices. I mean, Laura, was there a lot of religion going on in the offices where we had our passports locked up by chance? Did you remember any religion taking place, being locked up against your will? Because that would be great to really start understanding and start understanding with the Tampa Bay Times, who seems to be so clueless and really bought the pitch that a convicted felon literally wrote something on a piece of paper, and then all of a sudden, everything was very religious. All of a sudden, everything was wonderful and amazing way to save our world. But meanwhile, they've been trafficking us as kids for how many decades this has been allowed to happen? City of Clearwater Council. Pathetic City of Clearwater Council, who is apparently been elected. Never mind that Clearwater didn't elect Mark Bunker, but they did elect people that are, again, going back to the Dumb and Dumber here about, I didn't even know. I'm finding it so shocking. They don't collaborate. They don't cooperate. We're never going to get anywhere. I mean, yeah. Did you not understand who you were facing? People of Clearwater Council. I like the idea of being much more transparent going forward. Assistant City Manager Michael Delk told officials gathered at the Morningside Recreation Complex. I think sometimes it almost feels like we're in this cloak and dagger experience with Scientology, and I think that's a bad place to be, frankly. Oh, is that so? Is that so, Mr. Michael Delk, Assistant City Manager that really wants to be transparent going forward? Well, it'd be great to start understanding what part of the transparency the City of Clearwater Council is missing, because that would be a very great place to start. Where are y'all not being transparent in that City Council of Clearwater? Why does nothing ever get solved? Why is everything getting derailed? Why are kids being ensnared inside the hotel with all of you bozos really being pressed about buildings being empty. Oh my God, look at this, you guys. We really have to go and babysit empty buildings because God forbid the empty buildings continue to be dilapidated and make our city look disgusting. Well, never mind that your city already, breaking news to you, City Council of Clearwater is one of the most disgusting cities ever. What you are all doing inside of those hotels, what you are allowing, what the city of Clearwater allows these people to do. It's truly unthinkable. It's truly, truly unthinkable. Again, as it applies to minors, no comment on whatever in the hell the adults want to do to each other inside of those disgusting hotels. Is that clear, Tampa Bay Times, or is that still not clear to y'all? Because apparently you haven't gotten the memo, you refused to get the memo, and you just play dumb. I feel like the idea is being much more transparent going forward. So let's see the transparency. Over the last 2.5 years, multiple city officials have spoken with Scientology representatives in private meetings and phone calls about land swaps or other proposals to activate buildings, but no deal has materialized. When it comes to negotiating, it takes two sides to want to work out terms. And I just don't think there's any interest right now from the Scientologist in negotiating, said Mayor Bruce Rector, who got elected in March. Well, great, Clearwater Mayor Rector. It takes two sides to negotiate, and it apparently takes you idiots to be trying to negotiate with our child traffickers. So imagine that you couldn't be more behind the 8 ball. Imagine that you couldn't have a more pathetic, compromised Clearwater Police Department 1 block away from the hotel that is completely blind, completely incapable of. Clearwater Police has never seen anything to pull a string on in the many decades that kids have been literally running out of that hotel, literally running, asking for help, blowing, only to be returned to their abusers. Mayor Bruce Rector, that got elected in March, that really wants to negotiate with the people that are holding kids hostage inside of these disgusting hotels, inside sessions. Ask him. Ask the OSA handlers that you speak to, Mayor Bruce, what is an audit and what is a session and what happens to a child that is being audited? Literally, start asking questions. Start acting just dumb and dumber and, oh, we really need the negotiation and the negotiation and the negotiation, blah, blah, blah. Companies tied to Scientology began buying real estate in 2017, and they haven't stopped. In April, they bought some of the last properties in downtown core that they hadn't been tied up to Scientology, including the tower that houses city offices. So there you go, guys. I mean, give it up to the Tampa Bay Times, who is obsessed beyond keeping track of every last little square that's here. When was this one purchased? When was this one here? Who's holding this other one? La, 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 la. Lee, and Lou. This is all we ever get from these people. It's like, oh, look at all these buildings, you guys. Oh my God, help the buildings. They're dilapidated. Oh my God, the buildings are just been abandoned and nobody in Scientology wants to talk to us. What are we going to do? Let's wait for another year. Let's have more closed door conversations. Let's really try to reason with Scientologists. Let's really try it. Clearwater, meanwhile, spent $84 million to renovate Coachman Park with a concert venue, waterfront promenade, green space, and more that has drawn thousands for concerts and events. And earlier this year, the council finalized a deal for developers to build an apartment tower and hotel on 2 parcels surrounding the park. Beyond the waterfront, however, block after block of properties controlled by Scientologists are filled with empty storefronts and vacant lots, leaving visitors with few things to do or places to eat after leaving Coachman Park. Yeah, for all of you who are really wanting to go and enjoy that multi-million dollar investment of your city, I hope you really enjoy the concerts you go and sit there and pay to watch. While kids are enslaved inside of the Fort Harrison Hotel, while underage kids are enslaved at the Sandcastle Hotel, while kids are enslaved, you in Clearwater party it up. You know what? Why don't you just continue partying it up like there's no tomorrow? By all means, keep going to the concerts, keep enjoying, enjoy, and enjoy all you can. Because you know what? It would be really great for all these people to start enjoying and start being told, well, maybe this space is a little creepy. It's giving creepy vibes AF. Maybe that's why downtown cannot be revived, no matter how much time these people spend talking to the people that, in what world have they shown an ounce of good faith at wanting to have it revived? Did y'all look over the part where it's not convenient to have a lot of outside eyeballs walking around streets where, minors are being, is that a child there? Oh, is that a child there? Oh, is that a child there? Oh, is that a child there? So are these streets just being kept empty because they just want to give off a creepy vibe and they're really great with that? Because you know what? Scientologists do not need to go anywhere else. Everything they need is inside of their hotel. So they're doing great inside of the hotel. They have all they ever want and need. So Scientology people do not want to go outside, and they don't want to have a lot of neighbors because, the less neighbors, the less people can sniff the disgusting rat that's literally being stored at the Fort Harrison Hotel. The chance to redevelop a large portion of downtown through the county properties is unfolding as Pinella officials plans to relocate their operations out of downtown to a site of US 19 within about 5 years. It's not great. They're literally running out the literal governmental officials out of their own downtown. How pathetic. At the retreat, Delk said reusing government buildings for things like retail, restaurants, and housing is crucial to deinstitutionalize some of our key urban corridors. He said Scientology should follow suit. Sure. They're going to follow suit, Pinellas. Because they've shown you how much they follow suit, these people, since they've arrived under complete and utter false pretenses of wanting to set up a church to really save a world, while underage kids were being recruited and ensnared and enslaved and abused at an institutional industrial size scale that should have everyone vomiting. But instead, they're not vomiting, you guys. They're just, scratching their heads. Because, they are so used to the stench of corruption that this city of Clearwater Council cannot smell the rat, no matter how big it is, no matter how disgusting it smells. You know what? You know what they say about your sense of smell? Like, it just gets compromised, goes away. So they can literally be sitting in a pile of shit and go, well, you know what? Nobody wants to do anything. La, 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 la. They don't smell the shit anymore. It's like, they're just so used to it. They're just the flies and the maggots and all that smell is just oozing out of everywhere. And everyone's just having a great time in that city of Council, Clearwater, and really going to figure out how to run this downtown into the ground, which is exactly where is needed and wanted. No prying eyes is what's needed and wanted. Separately from 200 plus, most vacant properties controlled by Scientology connected properties. Scientology owns about 50 parcels downtown that make up its international headquarters. Spiritual, according to the Tampa Bay Times, a lot of spirituality happens while kids are enslaved, locked up against their will, ask disgusting questions. But yeah, that's the spiritual headquarters. Imagine if those are spiritual headquarters. Imagine what else is what else? First established in 1975, Delk said that Scientology should collaborate by moving some of its ground floor religious spaces. I mean, these people cannot stop pitching the word religion. And again, you guys, it's not a religion. It's not a religion. I don't care that the IRS said that it was. The IRS are a bunch of pathetic imbeciles that put kids in harm's way, that allowed child traffickers to get tax breaks while they were self-incriminating. So you know who we're not taking a single shred of a tip from? Any idiot that turned a 501c child trafficking ring into this. So get that through your thick skull too, Tampa Bay Times. Delk said Scientology, blah, 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 religious spacious at the prime of the intersection, Cleveland Street and Fort Harrison Avenue to other part of its campus. The county wants to use the properties to activate the public streets. Did you not get the part that Scientology has no interest in having a shred of public street activated? They like it without neighbors. They like it without prying eyes. They like it when they know that everyone around is a Scientologist, so they wouldn't say anything. They're fully compromised. They're fully vetted. And I think that our other large institutional user down here, Scientology, needs to hear the same message. I mean, again, they don't give an F about your message. They don't give an F about what you want to do. They only give an F about protecting their disgusting hotel scheme. They want no prying eyes. They want no new neighbors. They want no one that is going to say, what is going on here? Why are children getting off a bus at 2 o'clock in the morning? The stretch of the Fort Harrison Avenue between Drew and Cleveland streets, for example, is filled with rows of so-called religious offices that are very nice and attractive buildings, but they're sterile. There's no public life on the streets and sidewalks. Yeah, it's called a front group, you total idiots. I mean, honestly, you guys, how pathetic and imbecile can these people really be? In what world can they not connect a single dot? I mean, because they like literally talk like pathetic, gullible idiots. Oh, look, there's a lot of wonderful sterile buildings there, but there's no public people. Because who really wants to be around this? Who really wants to be walking around this disgusting type of buildings that everybody can smell the energy? The energy could not be more gross. In later interview, Delk envisioned the possibilities that the Fort Harrison Strip, lights strung across buildings with sidewalk cafes, white tablecloth restaurants, and visitors bustling on the corridor like St. Petersburg Central Avenue or Beach Drive. I mean, Delulu. It's giving, these people are just could not be more delusional. What is the difference between St. Petersburg Central Avenue and the Fort Harrison Avenue? What is the difference? I mean, City Council of Clearwater, just ask yourselves that question in front of a mirror and see if you can come up with the answer to that. Delk said that his words at Tuesday's retreats were the most candid discussions he's made in the public about Scientology during his 20-year tenure with the city. Council members ask for more of that. I mean, imagine if this is you being candid, Delk, we're in trouble. We're in literally trouble. If you want to join us on a mission to create a better downtown, here's how we can collaborate. I mean, if you want to join that mission to create a better downtown, you know, if you have it in you to want to join that mission to create a better downtown and bring other people that are not Scientologists so they can see that children are being trafficked. And yeah, if you feel like that in your heart, we really would like to see you. Delk said, I think that we ought to be talking about this publicly on the days as a regular talk. Council member David Albitron responded. y'all need to start figuring out what in the hell is going on in your literal city. What you have all hosted, what you have all allowed in your city. And I would suggest you start talking to your Clearwater police chief in that conversation. I suggest you loop him the fuck in. Clearwater police, everything's great, everything's wonderful, the hotels are wonderful, children come up and then on and off the buses. Who cares? Everyone's having a religious experience. We couldn't be more about religious experiences, says the Clearwater PD. The retreat came as the latest round of private discussions between city managers Jennifer Poirier and Scientology officials appear to have hit a wall. Her talks primarily with church legal director Sarah Heller. Legal director. Imagine Sarah Heller, you guys. She was a cadet. She was a child that grew up in the Motel Quality Inn. Imagine she's now the so-called legal officer, director, and they're really going for her to sort anything out. This woman was involved in every single aspect of getting called in by the Clearwater PD to really check on my so-called criminal investigation conducted by the Clearwater PD, where, yes, you guessed it, they found nothing. Nothing. What was it? I think it was 3 years. 3 years that they looked and looked and looked, and they just couldn't find anything, and they couldn't figure it out at all. And, Sarah Heller was there having a lot of meetings with them and all manner of stuff, which we'll get into much later. But suffice it to say that, yes, this woman that didn't go to law school, that has no legal background, that didn't have a shred of certificate to be a legal director of nothing, has been tapped to be the legal director. I mean, let's not forget, she was literally there since you, Mike Rinder, were there at OSA. So I'm sure you would have a story or two to tell us about Sarah Heller, a minor that was tapped to become a protege for the Office of Special Affairs, where, yes, you had oversight. So if you don't remember her right the F now. Poirier declined to disclose the request she has made of the church, citing the ongoing dialogue. But she said in an interview that we have different ideas in terms of what could help activate downtown. Well, isn't that great, you guys? Isn't that just so great that they just have different ideas? It just comes to different ideas. It just comes from literal different ideas. I mean, you think this, we think that. We say child enslavement, you say religious activity. I mean, so which one is it? So who's lying? Who's literally lying? Nomad Forever, you give 100% facts. Thank you, Nomad. Thank you for tuning in and helping us dissect this Tampa Bay Times article. I mean, you guys always tell us, like, why don't you go to the corporate media? Why doesn't the mainstream media start covering? They've been covering Scientology for decades, you guys. The mainstream media has made so much money covering Scientology. Millions and millions and millions of dollars that the mainstream media has been doing, pitching these completely ridiculous stories that always tell part of the withhold, but not the rest, that always tell them whatever our sources told us. We were told that it happened like this at the hotel. We were told that it happened like that at the hotel. But have you, Tracy McManus, step foot inside of the hotel or figure out how to get your own evidence? That's the problem, you guys. The mainstream media has no skin in the game. They've never gone in. They never figure it out. They don't know how to conduct an investigation. They just wait there by the phone lines waiting to be told. So that's why they have no critical thinking skills, and that's where all their stories are flat AF, not covering any of the reality of what happens in the hotel and covering all the altered importances of all the things about how, oh, we really should be pressed at Clearwater that our buildings are being decrepit and coming down and coming apart because buildings matter more than children to the Tampa Bay Times. Because the Tampa Bay Times prioritizes, apparently, the state of dilapidated buildings that they were bought, but oh my God, no one's looking after the buildings, you guys. I mean, what's going to happen to the buildings? I mean, look, they look so sad. The buildings look sad. I mean, did you guys see the thumbnail? How sad it is that a jewelry store that used to be there is now just been there for 7 years with no one wanting to do anything there. Scientology spokesperson Ben Shaw declined to answer why most of the 200 commercial properties bought since 2017 by companies tied to Scientology are sitting vacant. Not great, you guys, that they never want to comment whenever is literally stuff like this that is being asked of them. It's like, why do you have 200 empty lots? Because they can't answer to the Tampa Bay Times because we don't want any eyeballs around us. We don't want people asking questions. We like the creepiness. We like the emptiness. We like controlling everything. We like having cameras everywhere so we are always aware of who's coming around and who's checking and who's investigating us. We always want that. The Office of Special Affairs is working decades ahead of all these people that don't know how in the hell to conduct a literal investigation. You guys, they don't know how to pull a string. They don't know how to figure out why things that don't make sense just don't not make sense. There's a reason that they're not making sense. There's a reason why all of this so-called, let's really revitalize this, has not worked. There's a reason for it. And it's not being pitched by the Tampa Bay Times because they cannot figure it out no matter how hard they try, apparently. He said Scientology and the city are in full agreement to create an active and vibrant downtown, but the most recent talks with Poirier have been primarily as a new city council that just took office. Well, I wonder the type of briefings that Poirier is getting from you, Ben Shaw, protege of Mike Rinder. Be great for you, Mike Rinder, to really, write on your blog, on your next blog, what Ben Shaw would be telling a city council that just took office to ensure that they were following whatever Scientology protocols Scientology wanted to be following, since they're the only ones that know how to literally do anything. They run circles around these city council people. Poirier has been leading discussions with church officials since she was appointed in January 2023. I mean, literally, they're still having beginning conversations. I mean, stalling conversations, more like. Ben Shaw, you just got literally outed for your bold-faced lie. Her predecessor, John Jennings, spoke regularly throughout 2022 with Scientology leader David Miscavige about a potential deal that never came through. Shaw said that for almost a decade, Scientology has worked on responding to recommendations from city consultants who in 2014 said Clearwater and Scientology must work together to change downtown, but he declined to share details about the Scientology plan. So imagine that it's been a decade, a long decade, where what has transpired in this long decade of all of these buildings being purchased by shell companies that even the Tampa Bay Times cannot even figure it out. They figure out some sort of LLC, everything is done cash. Where the hell is the cash coming from? How are all these properties being literally purchased with cash? But there's never anything to see. Never mind that we always go back to the same point. All being done on the backs of underage kids. That Clearwater, Florida officials sit there. If you were not advised before, Clearwater Council, now you're fully advised. So before you want to play dumb again, it's on the public record. We've said it on YouTube. We've said it ad nauseum. We've said it clear. We're not being confused. We're not confused. We're not confused whatsoever. Y'all are confused. Y'all are so easy to gaslight. Y'all are so pathetic. Y'all are so literally compromised. Beyond that, since the city Scientology partnership has not been finalized, it would be premature to say anything else, Shaw said. Not great, you guys, that these guys always are typing their little statements so that they can really craft. Oh, it'd be so premature to say that anything's going wrong. Did anyone miss the part that since 2014, everything has been rotting? Apparently, Ben Shaw did not get that part. Apparently, Ben Shaw is just how to write another lie and really try to, obfuscate public perception because, oh yeah, we just started a new partnership. What's everyone so pressed about? But during the retreat, Manino, the new council member, underscored the city's frustration at the lack of progress. A decade to be precise. Are we at a point where we need to start bringing the public along with us to have these discussions in the sunshine so that we're all on the same page, he asked. In the sunshine is right. And you need to be having a lot more than the conversation of buildings being vacant and dilapidated. So yes, bring those to the literal sunshine. Start bringing those conversations. Start having Scientology defend itself in the sunshine. Literally, they cannot. They're allergic, highly allergic. This type of virus starts literally having conniption fits. The minute there's a shred of scrutiny, the minute they don't control the narrative, they start having conniption fits. They start acting out. They start breaking down. Oh my God, we're getting caught on the many lies that we've been saying and spewing. And everyone's been believing because we've been relying on gullible, naive, pathetic people that cannot investigate their way out of a paper bag, brought to you by the Tampa Bay Times, for example. Supposedly, we all want the same thing, right? We want a vibrant, alive downtown. So if we want the same things, where is the disconnect? Glad you asked where the literal disconnect is. Glad you literally are actually now Clearwater Council member Mike Menino. The disconnect is in your literal brain cells that has not understood who in the hell you're speaking to. So start with that. Maybe start finding out who in the hell you're speaking to. And then see where the disconnect is for all the city of Clearwater. And see if there's any disconnect between the Clearwater Police Department and y'all while you're at it. Rector, the mayor, met with Miscavige on April 11. A month later, he was elected, but said he did not talk about downtown properties or any of the discussions being led by Poirier. The sit-down, he said, was more of an introduction. I mean, give it up to these people, you guys. I'd like to introduce you to this person. I'd like to introduce you to that one. Let's wait another year for nothing to happen. And let me just introduce you to the new person. Oh, well, look. Hi, how's it going? Oh, let's not talk about that right now, but let's just talk about it in another year. And on and on and on. Literally on and on and on. Story about a vibrant downtown. Save the children first. I mean, in what world is this vibrant downtown is going to really happen, you guys? I mean, you would go to Clearwater and you would feel the stench. Again, it only takes people that are familiar with the stench to not be able to smell it. Like the people that work at the Tampa Bay Times that are so familiar with Scientology stench, they really think they know what in the hell they're writing about. Meanwhile, it's clear that they have not a clue. Rector noted at the retreat, so they're having retreats. Yay. Y'all at the city council of Clearwater are having retreats where children are trafficked inside of the hotels. I hope you all enjoyed your smoothies at your retreat. I hope you enjoyed your yoga, and I hope that you really found ways to introduce yourselves to the next person in Scientology that you need to be speaking to. And then, my time is up here. I'll make sure to introduce you to the next one that comes. The mayor, the mayor said the city should focus on strengthening events in the Coachman Park, ensuring the Bluff apartment and hotel projects advance, and pursuing the enormous opportunity the city has with redeveloping the county government properties. I mean, again, like we just said, in what world is that all happening while kids are being ensnared inside of the incredible large amount of commercial buildings and hotels these people own? Because if you are looking to really relocate to this disgusting thing that Coachman Park, Bluff apartment, project, hotel, whatever, if you're really trying to move there, I mean, and you don't Google that your neighbor's going to be Scientology, well, you know what? I mean, at what point? At one point, can we really do anything about anything, you guys? Seriously. Exactly. A bribe in downtown bring money, and that's what we care about. And the children being trafficked and abused, it's always the money. Literally, you guys, it's always the money. So much care about money and hotels being built because, that's really going to be a big opportunity for us here. The one thing that downtown doesn't need is another hotel, while all the other hotels are running rampant with all the disgusting things that they got away with doing to us as children. So imagine that. Imagine that nothing has been reined back. Nothing has been put a shred of guardrails for any child that has been ensnared. There's not been the stopping of any recruitment, of any grooming of courses, children being exposed to all of that. Imagine none of it has even come down a little bit since we left. But these people just, let's really build another hotel, you guys. Let's get on that. In an interview, council member Lena Teixeira said that she has conveyed to Poirier that she wants to see Scientology's long-term plans for all the property it controls. And I have not received that, Teixeira said. And you're not going to receive that, lady. Scientology doesn't give an F what in the hell y'all want. Scientology, you're no RTC, you're no CMO, you're not anywhere in their org board. Whatever in the hell the council wants couldn't be more irrelevant or stupid for the people that are running these hotels. You're not in their org board. They only go, oh, my senior is here. I need to listen to this senior. Anyone else saying anything? I don't care. My master is Captain FSO. My master is Senior CS. My master is TechSec. My master is, they have a master. And if you're not their master, guess what? They don't give an F. You couldn't be more irrelevant. You couldn't order them to bring you plans. They don't care. They're not going to bring you nothing. They don't care. You couldn't be more irrelevant asking for these things. Everything's going to be done on their timeline. You're not RTC. Get off your high horse. You're just a WOG. You're just a nothing. You're just a complete, disgusting, degraded woman that doesn't even want to go up a bridge. I mean, I'm sorry, you guys, but that's the extreme of how they see things. Albertron said in an interview that his request to Scientology through Poirier is to see the empty storefronts controlled by Scientology, especially on Cleveland Street, as rented to businesses. Oh, yeah, really? Good luck getting the Way to Happiness Foundation being shut down to really open a business to really bring people. I mean, guys, this is just... The lack of action from Scientology is baffling, considering the city efforts towards revitalization. I mean, your pathetic city with your pathetic efforts wanting to really build a lot, but you're building on top of a swamp, right? You're building in a swamp that's literally clogged with shit, clogged with the blood of all the kids that have been trafficked through those hotels. But y'all just want to pay, renovate, bring people here. Let's make money. Let's make money. Let's make money. The city of Clearwater wants to make money. They want to really revitalize. How are you going to revitalize if you're not even cleaning the disgusting mold that's underneath your entire downtown city. It's a question of when, to me, Albatron said, our timetable is right now. Theirs is, I don't know. Well, yeah, it's called, they own those properties. It's called the city of Clearwater. Couldn't be more compromised. You guys, it's literally called the city of Clearwater. Could not be more compromised, could not be more idiotic and bamboozled, and have zero leverage, apparently, to negotiate anything for a decade, full-blown decade of crickets, a full-blown decade of children just being trafficked into Clearwater through the Tampa Bay airport, the most outrageously low security airport existing in the entire United States. Tampa Bay Airport that allowed all kids to be trafficked through your airport like it was nothing. Just like that. So Clearwater and Tampa have really serious problems, you guys. And the problem is that they never confront their problem. So they're always just trying to build on top of these mountains and piles of shit and lies, and then everything collapses to the floor. Gami got a new apartment building deal. Wonder if that Scientologist is involved with the Mexican cartel. Is human trafficking, slave labor going to be used to build Agami's apartment building? Well, I do happen to know Agami personally. He was one of those rich Mexican millionaires. And I wouldn't know who his connections are, so I cannot speak to how they were making that level of multi-million dollars of money from developments that they would do in Mexico, connected to all manner of things. So I don't know, because I left Clearwater before Agami started to buy all that stuff. So we'll have to see. Living in Clearwater stinks. If it were up to me, I would provide housing for the homeless, Florida resident homeless, vets, elderly, and disabled, housing them in the vacant Scientology buildings. I mean, there's so much of that, you guys. There's so much waste. There's so much waste, and there's so much pain, and it's unthinkable. What's up, Earl Snappy? Great seeing you with Stevie Weavy. And that's where we are ending this, you guys, because how many more things need to be exposed before any of these people do the heavy lifting that's going to be required? Scientology lost tax exempt in New Haven and has to start paying taxes in July. Yeah, I mean, usually because they don't have people there. So I'm sure they'll figure it out, though. I'm sure they're not going to let it get completely lost. But they're not going to lose it in Florida, I'll tell you that much. Oh, I'm going to check it out. Thank you for that. Governor DeSantis had a press conference 2 to 3 days ago in Miami about human trafficking. I mean, again, you guys, Florida is one of the largest states with a human trafficking problem. Florida is the state where Jeffrey and Ghislaine trafficked a ton of minors, where Debbie Cook got to traffic minors for decades and decades and decades. Many more Debbie Cook trafficked than Jeffrey and Ghislaine combined aren't even scratching the surface of what Debbie Cook and her other minions that were helping her recruit got away with recruiting and trafficking. So Florida has a really big problem, and even the state attorney general has a whole song and dance about how they really want to, stomp down on the trafficking in Florida, but it's always just the platitudes, It's always just platitudes, and we really want to do this and we really want to do that, but it's like they really don't do anything, you guys. So as we continue to discuss these buildings, you guys, as we continue to discuss all that's on the public record, I thank all of you for helping us to continue to advocate to a day that we will see no more kids ensnared in these hotel chains. So I want to thank all of you for joining me today, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.